The state government in Victoria has announced a property market shake-up designed to make buying a home cheaper and easier. The pitch from the state government is that buyers are often spending up to $600 for building and pest inspection reports, sometimes multiple times, and that it's unfair and inefficient. So the Allen government wants to flip the cost onto vendors by making inspections mandatory and vendor organised, with the report made available to all prospective buyers. So fine, in principle, there's nothing wrong with standardising information and reducing duplicated costs. If you've ever watched buyers pay for 3 or 4 reports but miss out at all the options, you understand the frustration. But here's the punchline. It's laughable to pretend that this is an affordability breakthrough that the Victorian public needs, because the real cost of buying in Victoria isn't a $600 inspection report. It's the massive transaction cost that sits at the front door of the market and blocks people from moving, upgrading, downsizing, or even participating in the first place. At the Melbourne median house price, which is $977,000 in February 2026, the buyer is staring at roughly $56,000 in stamp duty. Now that's not a rounding area, that's a small car, it's a renovation budget, it's a year of childcare for many families. And it's about $23,000 more than in Queensland and almost $20,000 more than in New South Wales for a purchase at that same price point. So when the Victorian government tells voters it's stepping in to make life easier by saving $600, it's hard not to roll your eyes. If you're paying $56,000 just for the privilege of transferring the title, the inspection cost is not the barrier. It's not even in the top 10. It's the paper cut they've chosen to bandage while ignoring the broken leg. And it's not just buyers who get punished. Stamp duty is a mobility tax. It discourages people from selling and moving because the cost to transact is so punitive that it traps households in the wrong home. It's too small or too big or too far from work or too far from schools, even when their life circumstances change. And that reduces turnover, it reduces listings, it reduces supply. Then we all act surprised when the market remains tight and prices stay elevated. This is why these kinds of announcements feel like politics rather than policy. They're designed to create a headline and a talking point claiming we saved you money. But the money they've chosen to talk about is the smallest and least consequential cost in the entire buying process. Even on the inspection scheme itself, the practical detail matters. The government says reports would need to be completed at least 3 months before the sale, and vendors could recover the cost from the successful buyer anyway. So the savings aren't even necessarily savings, they're a change in timing and who writes the check first. And there's another issue: who controls the inspector? The buyer's confidence in a building and pest report often comes down to independence. In a vendor-funded system, buyers will inevitably ask, is this report conservative or is it designed to get the property sold? The government says it will include safeguards and standards. Well, good, but trust isn't created by legislation alone. It's created by incentives and transparency. It's also telling that the government has reached for the car analogy. Sellers provide a roadworthy, therefore sellers provide a roadworthy for houses. It's a cute line, but it misses the point. Buying a home is the biggest financial decision most Australians ever make. Inspection cost is a minor friction compared to the structural costs and constraints baked into the system, especially in Victoria. If the Allen government generally wants to make buying more affordable, start where the real money is. Stamp duty is the elephant in the room. It's an enormous upfront tax that makes housing less accessible, reduces market liquidity, and worsens supply tightness by discouraging people from selling. Until Victoria tackles that, changes like this are just cosmetic. Helpful at the margins, sure. A meaningful affordability reform, not even close. Saving buyers $600 while charging them $56,000 is not a solution, it's a distraction and a deception.